D, wait for it, light bulb.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished Star Trek Strange New World Season 1 finale. And before I get into my thoughts on this finale, this episode, a friend who I've done videos with before, and a fellow YouTuber and everything, and a fellow Trekker, he had contacted me and was like, hey, you know, before you watch this finale, you should watch from the original series, you should watch what's it called? The Balance of Terror, where we first meet the Romulans. And me, because, you know, this has the Romulans in it and everything. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, well, sure. I love, you know, the original. And granted, I want to be honest with you. I've only seen the original series once and everything. The rest of them I've seen like a million times or whatever. Not a million, but a lot. But I only seen the original series once. But I remember liking, you know, most of the episodes. So I rewatched this one. And I'm not going to lie, I wish I hadn't. Oh, by the way, my friend is Barry T. Cook over at Positronic Hypersonic. If you guys want to check out his channel, I'll leave a link up in the iCard section. Anyways, I wish I hadn't watched the original series, because I was like, when this one was over with, I was like, well, that was a waste of time. Because I just was like, I don't want to watch this. Like halfway through, I was like, yeah, I just watched the better version of this. Like 30 minutes ago. Why am I watching this nonsense? And plus, and they brought those time crystals in. I fucking hate those time crystals. They're so stupid. They're like the dumbest, like MacGuffin / plot point / anything. I'm like, no more of these stupid time crystals. This is from Discovery, and they're just like, I thought it was dumb then. I think it's dumb now. So stop bringing them in to show alternate realities. Just it's like whatever. So this is just basically somewhat of a carbon copy and everything. It's like a what if and everything. So I'm going to break this sucker down. I'm hoping I don't take too much of your time, because you guys complain about my video lengths and everything. And I'm like, listen, I'm just talking. So I'll give you my review while I break this sucker down. But before I get started on that, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you in advance. So now that I'm done with that, let's get started on this. So it starts off on this base number 4. Gosh, station 4. Shit, I forgot what it's called, and I had it before I started doing this. Oh man. All right, I'll remember. Hold on, let me just move this stuff around. I'll remember as we go along. Anyways, so it starts on this Echo Base 4. I don't remember and everything. And so we get 2 ships defending it and everything. And the other one is, and he's making leftover pasta. I don't remember what he calls it and everything. But he makes it for his girlfriend. I don't remember her name either. Shit, I wish I'd written down, but I didn't. Anyways, so you know, he's just making leftover pasta for them to eat. Nom 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 nom. And you know, they bring up the beer and everything and all this stuff, and it's fine and everything. So I'm sorry, I'm still looking at Outpost 4. It's right on the neutral, the edge of neutral, the neutral zone and everything. And they're talking about Romulans and stuff like that. So anyways, she goes back to her ship and everything, because they're giving them supplies and stuff. So anyways, so you see Romulan space, and then you see the Federation space, and then you see this neutral zone. And this is because way back when they had, and from the original series, they had a war, and they didn't take any prisoners, and we don't, you know, they just destroyed the ships as they went along, and they didn't know we don't know what the Romulans look like. I mean, me and you know what the Romulans look like, but they don't know what the Romulans look like. So they're talking to this guy who is the guy that runs this outpost, and they're talking about what he needs. And oh, sorry, my mouse is in the way. So he tells him what he needs. They basically give him whatever he needs and everything. So his son comes in, Mott. My name is Matt. His name is Mott. And he comes in and it's like, I want to join the I want to join the Federation as soon as I possibly can, the cadet system and everything. He's like, what's your name, Matt, and everything. He's like, yeah, and he leaves because he was one. He's not feeling good because he's having like vertigo and shit, and he leaves, and she's like, he was one of the ensigns that Pike goes to save when he has his accident and gets all Zorgified and everything, and he's one of the ensigns that dies. So he's looking at him. He's right there. It's right there, and he's looking at his see, it's Matt with 2 A's, unlike Matt, which most Matts have 2 T's. I only have 1 T in my name. Anyways, so he starts to write a letter to Matt, and he's telling him basically, don't do it. And then he hears himself, and he's like, don't write that letter. And he's all like, who are you? And he's like, I'm you, and everything. And he's all like, he's like, you write that letter and a whole new world exists and everything. And then he's like, look, and he's like, the Klingon monks let me take a time crystal out. And I'm all like, ugh, these stupid fucking time crystals. I hate them. He's like, so I could show you this. So he zaps back, zaps to this alternate reality where he's doing a marriage ceremony between these 2 lovebirds. And then the ship, red alert kind of thing. So he goes to the bridge, and he's like, and there's his number 1 Spock, because Una's not there. We find out why later. And so they're getting what are they getting? Something. I don't know what's happening. They're getting a hail from Outpost 4. But he's like, Spock, I need to talk to you. And he tells Spock, he's like, listen, I'm from another dimension kind of thing, or another time period. And he's like, are you sure you're just not crazy? And we need to put you in the brig. And he's like, or med bay. And he's like, no, do the Vulcan mind meld. And he's like, all right, cool, let's do it. My mind to your mind. And he sees his Zorgification, his nasty hamburger face. And he's all like, all right, you're right. You're from a different timeline kind of thing. And so they get to Outpost 4, and Outpost 4 is effed up, like crazy hardcore. And they get back on the thing, and he's all like, do you have a phaser? He's like, what was it? He's like, some kind of plasma weapon. He's like, do you have phasers? He's like, we don't have phasers. Our weapons crew is dead. They're all dead, and everything. And then a ship decloaks. And it's a Romulan bird of prey. Dun, dun, dun. And it shoots its plasma weapon, its fireball, and destroys Outpost 4, like in the original series. And they're like, Captain, another ship has come into, whatever, to help out or whatnot. And it's the Farragut, and it's Captain Kirk, and he's like, hey, Captain Pike, I'm here to help and everything. He's like William's brother, or and he's like, yeah. So he's all like, we're here to help kind of thing. So he talks to his brother about his Kirk, and he's like, yeah, listen, he's arrogant, and he's, thinks he can use his charm to get out of any situation, but he's a good captain. He's like one of the best captains the Starfleet has. So they're tailing this they're not tailing it, they're running alongside it to run parallel to it, because they can't chase after them / attack them, because that's an act of war. So they're trying to do stuff here where they won't get in trouble and start a war and all that good stuff, which is understandable. I get it, dog gets it. I get you, dog, and everything. But they're just like, some of the crew, they want revenge and everything. So they get it. So the Romulans send out a transmission, and they're able to see what the Romulans look like. So they pull it up, and they see that the Romulans look just like Vulcans. Dun, dun, dun. Now, in the original series, they did a really good job of this, because then Captain Kirk tells another crew member, I can't remember his name, because he's like, well, if you want any answers, just ask Spock. I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly how it says. Just ask Spock. He knows his own kind. And Kirk says, Lieutenant, if you want, you can take your bigotry and you can take that back to your quarters, but it has no place on this bridge. And I was like, that's the, because New Trek is all about telling the message and telling, identity politics, shoving it down your throat and bashing into your teeth. And if they really wanted to do that, they could have done it like the original series did, but they didn't. They just went along with whatever because they all they knew how to do is copy and paste and tweak it a little bit so they don't get accused of plagiarism. So anyway, so Kirk comes on board and they're trying to figure out a way to do this. So they're like, well, some people are like, to war. And then some people are like, we can't go to war because billions could die. So they realize that it's going to go straight into the tail of this comet, and they won't be able to see them. But they can't see the Romulan bird of prey because it's cloaked. But because of this weapon, it's taking a lot of energy. So they can move and they can fire their weapons and stuff, but they can't see anything. So they're like, when it goes into the comet, that's when we can, strike, but not like strike, So they get in there, but of course the bird of prey is ready for them. And it attacks the Farragut, and it's firing, and it shoots its little fireball and bam, hits them hard. And so they're basically dead in the water. So then the Enterprise comes in and they fire at them and they hit them just enough to knock out stuff. And they're transporting people. And there's Lillian Noonien-Singh, whatever her freaking name is, her 12 names, Noonien-Singh. She comes on. And he's like, hey, how you doing, kiddo? And she's like, great. And he's like, have you talked to Uno? And she's like, nobody talks to Uno anymore. She can't, and everything. And we find out later on because they found out she was modified and she gets put in jail. So anyways, Kirk comes aboard and he's all like, you didn't fire. And he's like, listen, we were out of range. She's like, yeah, but you didn't do your thing. And he's like, listen, I'm talking from a captain that just lost his ship and everything. And he's like, yeah, and you're on my ship and I still have my ship, fool, and everything. So they're trying to figure stuff out. And so he contacts, because he's like, fine, listen, a dogfight isn't going to work in this. Why don't we talk to him, try to do diplomatic things? So he contacts him. He's like, hey, listen, dude. And he's like, hello, Captain. Hello. You know what he reminds me of in this one? He reminds me a lot of those aliens from Galaxy Quest and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Every time I look at them on the screen, I'm like, I don't see Romulan. But at the same time, we haven't seen Romulans in so long. Same thing with Klingons. We haven't seen Klingons in so long that it's going to be like friggin' forever before we see them on any of these shows again, because they screwed that up season 1 of Discovery. Anyways, so sitting here and he's all like, hey, we've been fighting for so long because we had this neutrality and everything. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just pause on firing at each other for a hot second? You fix your weapons, you fix your engines, we'll fix our engines, and we'll go on, and when we'll reevaluate the situation. He's like, all right, fine. This guy right here is not having it. He does not like that. So he's like, sounds like a good plan. He's like, you're just gonna, hold on. He's like, yeah. So he's like, you're just gonna let them go. And he's like, yeah. He's like, listen, you don't remember when the wartime was going down. It's not just, he's like, but they are weak. They negotiated. That's a sign of weakness. We should attack now as soon as possible. And he's like, no, you're going to fix the engines first and then the weapons. He's like, I'm your commanding officer. You listen to me. He's like, but they're weak. You're just going to let them go. And he's like, listen, you don't remember what a time of war is. War isn't just fun and games, douche. It's hardcore. People die. And he's like, your father, he died because he was irrational and he could have waited and chilled out for a second. But no, he was all like, no, to war and everything. So that's why he died, because he was an idiot. This guy doesn't like that. So then Kirk and Pike and Spock are chit-chatting and everything. And then Kirk comes in and he's all like, what are we going to do? And he's like, can I borrow one of your shuttles? So he takes the shuttle and he goes away. So then Spock is there. He's trying to fix the weapons on this thing. And they're also trying to do the engines and everything. So 2 hours is up and he's all like, you guys are good? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, listen, why don't we just chill out for a second and everything? Well, at that point, they get a perimeter alert. And the Romulans Armada just shows up. And he's like, why is the Armada here? I did not contact them. And he's like, I did. You called my dad an idiot. And he's all like, you would disobey a commanding officer? Take him to the brig and everything. So then the Praetor comes on and he's like, who am I addressing? She's like, you may call me Praetor. Normally we kneel. And he's like, well, considering the fact I'm not Romulan, I'm not going to kneel. And so Kirk shows up. Oh, because before that, they were all like, listen, he's all like, it would take days for us to get communications out, it would take weeks for other ships to get out here this far at top warp speed. And he's like, yeah, but they don't know that. So then he shows up with a bunch of ships. Hold on. Oh no, I didn't get it. I didn't get the ship. So but they bring in a bunch of mining ships from other outposts. So they're basically like useless, but he's all like, hey, listen, they don't know what we haven't seen each other in so long. We didn't know what their ships look like. They don't know what our ships look like. So how do they know that these aren't, and they even says these are Delta class cruisers and everything, even though they're just mining ships or whatever. So then the Praetor is all like, she's like, this is an act of an aggression. This could be considered an act of war. And he's like, yeah, but you guys started it by firing on our outpost and destroying that. And she's all like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I have a video. And he sends her the video and she's all like, mm-hmm. And so he's all like, what's going on here? And she's like, this is a culling. He let himself get caught. Therefore, he's a disgrace. Kill him. So he's all like, Captain, he's all like, we tried, dude, to have peace, but obviously it's not going to work out. We're Romulans. And him and his crew all died. Like bang, bang, bang. So now she's like, I will take your surrender now, Captain. Praetor out. And he's all like, so then fighting ensues, and basically like they're the only ship with weapons, but the Kirk gets the other mining equipment to get in the way, and this ship fires its plasma beam and destroys some ships, causing a little bit of damage with that one. And they're able to get out. They're able to get out of there. And so there was a blast where Spock was, and Spock was injured. But he goes down to the sick bay and he sees this woman who he was marrying earlier. They didn't get to marry them. So it's like, oh, you didn't get him. She wasn't your wife yet, buddy. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sad for him. And then he finds Spock, and Spock is fucked up, like hardcore. And she's all like, I don't think he's going to recover. And I'm like, yeah, you think? Nurse Einstein over here, or Nurse Obvious and everything. She's like, his life will never be the same. I'm like, yeah, we all know. Jeez, oh friggin' Pete, where's your spunky attitude now, Nurse Jane? And everything. So anyways, he's upset because this was his fate and now it's Spock's fate. So then he's talking to himself again. He's all like, there is no alternate reality where Spock does not take your place. Spock takes your place every time. He dies in every other reality except for this one. So it's either you or him. He's got a choice to make. And then Kirk comes in and they have a little conversation and everything. And I was a little confused by this conversation, but at the same time, I'm all like, I got it and everything. So then he warps out of there from the time crystals and he deletes his little message to Mott. And then he's looking at Kirk and everything. And he's like, it's good to see you, Spock. And he's like, am I supposed to assume that you saw your future and I died? So therefore that's why you're happy to see me. He's like, yeah, that's why. So he goes back to the bridge and everything. And they get a communication that his girlfriend's coming back on board. So he wants him and Una need to meet him in the transporter room. So they go down there and he's like, it's back so soon. She's like, yeah. And I wish I wasn't. And they arrest Una and she's like, we're arresting her because she's an enhanced, being and she's not allowed. So she's going to jail. Look at that face and everything. And he tries to stop the security guard and she's like, and Una's all like, number one is all like, don't, Pike, don't. And she's all like, I knew this day would come eventually and everything. And then he's like, this is not over. And then they blast out and then he looks at the camera and that's the end of the episode. And I just want to say a couple things. Like I said, like Una, first off, number one, they've had Rebecca Romaine Stamos in this. And I understand that she really wasn't in the show. She was in like, the one episode or whatever. But they've literally given this actress practically nothing to do, especially in this episode. She has nothing to do in this episode, like nothing and everything. And I'm all like, all right, whatever. It's fine, I guess. And then, and I don't even know, maybe she's not going to be in season 2. I don't know. I honestly don't care because this episode wasn't like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, it was just, for me personally, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was just boring because it was very odd. Like they had an idea and this idea wasn't bad. It's just, I had literally just watched the old Trek episode, the original series episode. And I'll tell you right now, it's 10 times better than this. It's 10 times better. And I mean, for people, new Trekkers who have never seen the original series, they'll probably love this. I mean, there are some new Trekkers, there are some content creators out there that I watch their stuff because I'm like, I want to see somebody's a different opinion on this. And I want to see what they have to say. But then I watch their video and it's very clear that some content creators they could literally new Star Trek could literally shit on screen, have Pike stop dead, shit on screen, and they'd be like, oh my God, these people get Trek. They understand, they know what's doing. And I'm all like, okay, all right, whatever. And it would probably still be boring. It would probably still be boring because I don't know, man. I know you're all like, you hate everything. You're so cynical. And you're right, I am cynical. But I'm just honest. Like, you don't understand. Like, everybody was talking about this on Twitter. Like, it was the best thing since sliced bread. Like, it was the best new Trek episode ever. And I'm all like, okay, I'm excited. I'm excited. And then maybe I got too excited. Maybe I shouldn't have watched that episode. But I just, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. That's just my thoughts. So as far as episodes go, it wasn't like, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. Like, cause I'm pissing off half of you anyways. So it doesn't even matter. It wasn't bad. It just was kind of, for me personally, it was just very blah. It's very blah. And that's all I got to say about that. I just, yeah. But I am going to watch season 2 because out of all the new Trek, this is the best show. I mean, you know, the other shows suck, Picard and Discovery, but we'll see. All right, guys, tell me what you guys think or thought about this season finale. Did it live up to your expectations, or are you like me and you're just like, it was very strange, new meh and everything? I'll do a season 1 review when I get time. I'm still working on my Obi-Wan review. But tell me what you guys thought about this. You know, who's been your favorite character this season? I think I have to say it was Hemmer, but he died. So I'm like, I got to pick a new one. So we'll see. But tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go to the like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys whenever I get around to it. My Strange New World season 1 review. You guys have a good day. Live long and prosper. Bye.